So what will the last 11 days of the Trump presidency look like? After Wednesday's insurrection at the Capitol, talks of impeachment and invoking the 25th Amendment are seriously being considered. House Democrats are currently planning to introduce articles of impeachment against President Trump as soon as Monday, making it possible for a House vote to take place early to mid next week. The latest version includes one article, incitement of insurrection, with more support for impeachment this time than last, with 131 co-sponsors so far. This comes after House Speaker Nancy Pelosi told her caucus on a call on Friday afternoon that she prefers Trump resign or the 25th Amendment be invoked, also making clear that if neither happens, the House will impeach. And on Friday, the president tweeted he does not plan to attend President-elect Joe Biden's inauguration, not even one day after finally promising a peaceful transfer of power. With momentum to remove Trump from office growing from both parties, joining me now to game this out, the remaining days that is Elaine Kamarck, lecturer in public policy at the Harvard Kennedy School of Governance, author of 2 books, Primary Politics, Everything You Need to Know About How America Nominates Its Presidential Candidates and Why Presidents Fail and How They Can Succeed Again. Dr. Kamarck, which poses a greater threat to the remaining days of the Trump presidency, impeachment or the 25th Amendment?
Well, I think impeachment does, because the 25th Amendment has to be initiated by Vice President Pence and members of the cabinet. And there's no indication so far that any of them are going to go that route. So I think the 25th Amendment is pretty much off the table. Impeachment poses a different threat. The House can easily get it done next week. The problem is the Senate isn't scheduled to come back into office until January 19th, the day before the inauguration. So, maybe they could have a trial at 9 o'clock on the morning of January 20th and have a vote. But this is awfully fast to get a trial. So it's not clear that even if the House impeached, it's not clear that the Senate could convict. And there's also a question of what good does it do to convict somebody who at 11:30 on January 20th, who's out of office at 12:01 on January 20th. So that's really the problem here. And I think they're looking for other things to do.
I was going to say, I think an additional issue is whether you can impeach a president after she has left office. Interestingly, the fact checker in the Washington Post, Salvador Rizzo, wrote a piece 2 years ago in a different context on this issue. The legal community seemed to be unresolved. I wanted to ask you something else, though. I'm also thinking about President-elect Joe Biden, and that is, do Democrats really want this to be the issue precisely at the time when they're trying to turn a page and launch a new administration?
It's a really good point. I mean, one theory says that if the trial is sort of pending or hasn't opened yet in the Senate on January 19th, that then it will fall to Biden and the Democratic Senate, because Kamala Harris will have the swing vote there, to conduct a trial. I'm not sure that Joe Biden really wants to do that. I'm not sure he wants to start his administration when there's so many other pressing things, like getting vaccines into the arms of Americans, than worrying about an impeachment trial. So if I were Joe Biden, I wouldn't be wild about that option.